Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansya Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsya Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishnu Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prasarane Nirabhishesha Sundagadi Paschatyadesh Tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayake Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratushe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Sri Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripasindhubhaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vacha Sambham Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dena Taranam. So we are continuing our discussion on the meditation series Die Before You Die. And I believe today we are discussing the 20th meditation, the second last, I believe, meditation in this book. Cancer, an offering of tough love. Cancer is alive, like any living entity. Survival is of foremost importance. It is a natural instinct for people to organize their lives around trying to maintain their existence. My cancer is definitely life-threatening to my physical body. The medications and treatments I am taking are designed to kill the cancer cells. So it is natural for them to fight just as hard to survive. All life ultimately comes from Krishna, God. So all life has its purpose and can offer a learning experience. Today I want to send my love to the cancer, for after all, everything is for our benefit. Thank you so much, cancer cells, for offering me tough love. The cancer has helped me in connecting on a much deeper level with my biological family. We are all so different, but were brought up very similarly by my mother, who was most thoughtful, kind, and considerate. When she passed from ovarian cancer, we bonded very strongly as a family in prayer and support. When my brothers and sisters heard of my seemingly fatal disease, they all flew in to spend some quality time with me. We discussed so many important issues and prayed, laughed, and cried together. In all cases, we were fully there for each other. Today, I want to send my love to the cancer, for after all, everything is for our benefit. Thank you so much, cancer cells, for offering me tough love. By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, my spiritual mentor, I have been brought in contact with a beautiful and diverse spiritual family of God brothers and God sisters. These wonderful servants have made most amazing sacrifices year after year. All over the world, they have spread the teachings of Sanatana Dharma, sacrificing wealth, health, family, education, and prestige. Several of them are now aging and even passing away. During the sickness, I have been in touch with spiritual God family from all over the world. We have connected on deeper levels as servants in Srila Prabhupada's mission more than ever before. Of course, we were also wondering who amongst us may be next to leave his or her body. This has helped us all look closer at our own health and, most significantly, to re-examine how much we need and depend on each other. Today, I want to send my love to the cancer, for after all, everything is for our benefit. Thank you so much, cancer cells, for offering me tough love. By the mercy of Guru and Krishna, I have been given so many loving disciples. They are praying for me daily, organizing special pujas, yagyas, and other ceremonies. Most have raised their own standards and made greater commitments. They are coming together as a spiritual family more than ever before and trying to hold on to my instructions. They are reaching out to make each other more accountable. They are taking shelter of more spiritual uncles, aunties, and others for Shiksha. They are sending me more love than ever before. They are reading my books, listening to my tapes, and listening to Srila Prabhupada's tapes more seriously than they have done during their entire spiritual journey. When I was healthy, they were attentive, but nowhere near as much as they are now. Today I want to send my love to the cancer, for after all, God does not make mistakes and He arranges everything for our benefit. Thank you so much, cancer cells, for offering me tough love. The seemingly fatal disease has caused me to look closer at my own attachments, gross and subtle. It has very clearly been put in front of me. It has very clearly been put in front of me what needs to be transcended before returning back home. Cancer has allowed me to be much more appreciative of what I have previously experienced and accomplished. It has increased my appreciation for the wonderful years of excellent health that I had most of my life. It had allowed me to look closer at what is really important in contrast to what is superficial and secondary. It has helped me to be more mindful of each moment and each encounter. It has clearly shown me how much I am not in control of my life, nor was I ever. This has surely made me more dependent on Guru's and Krishna's mercy. The uncertainty and the desperation of cancer has produced, the desperation the cancer has produced is giving me a wonderful chance to detach myself from the bodily identification and to search out more connections with my eternal spiritual permanent identity. Today I want to send my love to the cancer, for after all, God does not make mistakes and He arranges everything for our benefit. Thank you so much, cancer cells, for offering me tough love. The cancer has helped me better understand the sufferings others have to endure. I have prayed desperately to become a more empowered agent of change so as to understand their suffering. I wanted the ability to help others deal with, grow from, or move through their pain. Now it is no longer an academic experience, but it is experimental. The seemingly fatal disease has helped me to develop a deeper level of wisdom and compassion far beyond what I normally possess. This has allowed me to reflect and write with greater sensitivity with hopes that I will connect on a deeper level with the hearts of my readers. Today I want to send my love to the cancer, for after all, God does not make mistakes and He arranges everything for our benefit. Thank you so much, cancer cells, for offering me tough love. My dear cancer cells, you are a messenger. A messenger who brings honest, accurate, bad news should not be faulted, even though the truthful news is unpalatable. A messenger has a duty to deliver the precise message. You have done a very good job as a courier. The message has reached its destination. I have received it in full and I am acting upon it with intense haste and gravity. This wake up call has helped me to look closer at Lord Chaitanya's last prayer. Ashlishiva padaratam pinashtamam adarshana marmahatam karotuva yata tatha va vidadhatu lampato mata prananathastu sa eva paraha. I know no one except Krishna as my Lord, and He will always remain as such, even if He handles me roughly by His embrace or makes you broken hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for He is my worshipful Lord unconditionally. It is easy to be appreciative and grateful when everything happens in our lives according to our desires. However, the real test of our faith and love comes when we have challenges and setbacks that are confusing. It can bewilder us even more when the Supreme Lord seems to allow or arrange such sufferings, or when He may seem to handle us roughly or not be present before us. However, all of what the Lord does is best for our coming back to Him. So, this chronic disease has given me a better understanding of unconditional, unmotivated service. It has helped me move faster towards embracing unconditional love towards Guru and Krishna and more genuine service and appreciation for all sadhus. My beloved Cancer, you must also die. You either die with me or before me, but neither of us can remain forever in these hellish bodies. So there is no longer any need for us to be enemies, for our ultimate outcome with material nature is the same. It destroys us. This is the time of giving thanks, for I am so appreciative of the many wonderful things you have brought to me. Now you must die and I must also eventually die. In both of our cases, our time is very limited. Therefore, once again, I want to send you love and appreciation for all the wonderful things you have added to my life. Especially today, I send my love to you, the Cancer. For after all, God does not make mistakes and He arranges everything for our benefit. I, the lowly beggar, again thank you, Cancer cells, for offering me tough love. The nature of the mind is that mind adopts very soon the state of inertia. In any track one is moving, any trajectory one is taking, one seems to get rigid on rigid in terms of conceptions, perceptions, interpretations. So therefore this rigidity slowly starts obscuring the actual vision of reality, of the actual understanding. That's what happens. This rigidity starts obscuring or blocking the actual vision. When we are beginning or starting an undertaking, then the beginning of the undertaking actually one gets because one is getting a fresh perspective. That perspective is quite broad and encompassing a lot of things, a lot of details. It's quite broad perspective because it's a fresh perspective. It's first interface. Slowly, as the undertaking proceeds, what happens is that uh, one's perspective and vision goes on becoming a bit narrow, as if one is losing vision, or there is a loss or diminution in the vision. It happens like that actually. That's the nature of the mind. Nothing to worry about it, but that's the nature of the mind. We have to, obviously, uh, nothing to crib about it, but we have to see how we can get rid of this fallacy. But this fallacy is there on the part of the mind. So if we can see at any stage beyond what we are already practicing, if we can see, it becomes easier to mold or upgrade ourselves. But the problem is the mind will stop seeing after some time. Initially it sees, and then as we go ahead, it doesn't see so much. That's the point. It's just like we have seen that suppose in our youth preaching, in our voice preaching, so we have seen actually when a person first time takes responsibility of any preaching center, oh, he has so many ideas, there's a lot of ideas, but slowly as he progresses during service, his ideas wane off, means there is a depletion. So therefore he may not be able to catch some more subtle things, some more variegated things which can improve actually. So in general, what is happening is that the thread of improvement is getting blocked. That thread of improvement is getting blocked. This is what is happening. And therefore, devotees practice this habit of many times inviting another devotee to just be there for a visit. So when another devotee comes for a visit, he just comes for a visit. But when he comes for a visit, because he is coming from a fresh perspective, then he can see what all things are lacking. Whereas the in charge himself may not be able to see what all things are lacking or what all things can improve. This is inertia basically, this is blockage. So then, so in that way, one gets to understand, okay, the other devotees help, one gets to understand, okay, what is the uh, what is the step further to improve? I have seen this happens in programming also. Many times you're programming, you can get stuck up and you're not able to think like that. So that stage, if one now calls probably a colleague, a devotee in the team, in the same team, or like that, maybe that other devotee many times in 5 minutes resolves. Why? Because he's coming with a fresh perspective. So as the perspectives move on, what exactly is happening is uh, there is rigidity which comes. There is vision defect which comes actually. So the acceleration gets very easily lost. Velocity may or a sincere person velocity may remain the same, but acceleration is lost. So that is the predicament which one will land into. Now here Maharaj is explaining that when one interfaces suffering, when one interfaces troubles and sufferings, then that shakes up a person, wakes up a person. And in that way, when a person is woken up, then he can see the fresh perspectives. When he is woken up, he can see the fresh perspective. So he can see what to improve now further. So therefore, sorry, the point to note is that if one can somehow or the other learn this art of learning from suffering, or handling or digesting suffering in a positive manner, then one can take benefit of suffering. Then one can always have the acceleration on, and in that way one can go on improving, and that fastens the process of spiritual advancement. So how to digest suffering? How to digest troubles? So just like so we understand actually digestion in the body requires an enzyme. The body digestion requires an enzyme. In the same way, the digestion of troubled systems, or yes, the digestion of suffering, troubled situations, requires the enzyme of requires the enzyme of the enzyme of devotional service, the Navavidha Bhakti, engagement in Navavidha Bhakti. That is required for one to be able to process or digest the troubled times. So, whatever bhakti one has done before, or previously, or previous to the trouble, that gets translated in the form of a vision, an overall vision. So generally we will see the vision gives the vision basically the vision is like an overview. So generally speaking, the vision gives an overview. The vision gives an overview, generally speaking. So the vision basically will give inspiration. Okay, this is the direction to take. That is why it is said that when times are not troubled, then we should practice very intensely, so that in troubled times, still we will have the inspiration to practice. So the vision gives the inspiration to take shelter of out. One can chart out an improvement plan. So the details of exactly what steps to take become clear when one engages in Navavidha Bhakti during troubled times. So then the detail that, okay, in this situation, this is how I should think, this is what I should speak, this is how I should engage myself, this is how I should resist myself, this is how I should preach to myself, so on. This is the point. And this is the and here what Maharaj is presenting is that in his situation of turmoil and suffering, Maharaj is sharing his churnings, or Maharaj is giving a demonstration of how digested food is it not? Maharaj has digested that phase of suffering. It is undigested suffering which creates problem, not the digested one. And digestion is in our hands. That is what Maharaj is teaching us. So Maharaj is mentioning that so he and his family have been together, but now because of this problem and trouble, everyone has come together to connect on a deeper level. That is the positive aspect. So Maharaj is digesting, is it not? And he was telling that now, then Maharaj is mentioning about his god brothers. So they have been together and serving together, but now in this situation, because of that intensity, the seriousness of the situation, then the connection is becoming deeper. Similarly, Maharaj mentions about Srila Prabhupada's instructions. Those instructions have been the guiding light, but now they are becoming, those instructions are basically the lifeline, is it not? So that is the lifeline, that's the oxygen, which we are getting. Now it's like, now, so and then Maharaj is mentioning about his disciples, that yes, now the disciples, they were serious, but now they become more serious. They were serious and now they are becoming more serious. And therefore, Maharaj is telling that this apparent situation, it seems that what it is offering is love only, but it is a little tough love. No. It's offering a tough love, is it not? When things are tough, we take. So when things are easy, then then we know how to handle it, is it not? When things are easy, you know. Ah. So we have to understand that, you know, uh, any situation which comes in our life is not the end product. Many times we take the situation which is coming in our lives in its in a raw sense, that okay, this situation is that's it, this problem came to me, everything is finished. No, the situation coming in our life is like a vegetable coming in the house. The situation requires processing and cooking. So if we can cook properly, every situation will be palatable. But if we don't do the cooking, don't do the homework, don't do Navida Bhakti, and no, during that trouble time, we won't be able to get the higher understanding. And that is what Maharaj is speaking. So Maharaj is being grateful for all the years when he had good health, for all the wonderful association and services he could do. And now in his state, because he is in a suffering state, he is feeling the suffering of people even more. Maharaj is telling. So this is the point. This is the point. Because he's been able to digest, and he's able to digest because he is steadfast, fixed in his determination to serve the Navida Bhakti, to engage in the Navida Bhakti. That's the point. So now, does it mean that actually we have to go through excruciating troubles to be able to improve in spiritual life? Not necessarily. We don't have to go and ask to Lord, okay, some troubles, some more troubles. By our karma, anyways, it will come, because our karma, because our resumes are very, praiseworthy, and because of that praiseworthy nature of our resumes, so there are anyways troubles which are going to come. But we don't have to invite some catastrophic troubles for us to be able to, steer it through and all that. So now the Acharyas and Shastras are giving us a positive lesson also. That how to avoid ourselves from getting locked up. That inertia, that narrow vision. And Acharyas and Shastras explain that when one tunes his heart to feel for the problems and sufferings of others, then such a person will never get saturated in his vision, because he is installing the other sufferings in his heart, and because he is installing other sufferings, he will go on improving. He won't saturate, is it not? So the drive of compassion, actually, the more we stretch ourselves for the compassion, then one doesn't have to really, go through sufferings and pains himself. That if we feel for others, so that itself that itself uh, makes one alert and attentive, and coaxes one to go deeper and take deeper shelter of the Lord through Navida Bhakti. And then that's how one gets deeper visions and directions. Okay, so we'll stop here. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki